So you're watching this video because you want to start a business, right? And right now you might be wondering what exactly you should do. Like maybe you watched a lot of videos about should you start content creation or Etsy or start an email list or sell on Amazon. I don't know. There's so many business ideas, right? And honestly, you can make money doing anything, but what should you actually do? That's actually a really hard question to answer. And I think most people starting a business, that's the first question. Like, okay, I want to start a business, but what am I going to start a business on? I know how it feels. It can be very difficult picking what you're going to do, but let me break down 2 things that I think will be very useful. So there are 2 dimensions of starting a business. The first dimension, and tell me in the comments if you have like a better term for this. The first dimension is the making money part. It's like the practical part. Obviously, you're starting a business because you want to make money, right? I wouldn't say that's the point of starting a business, but it's one of the purposes that a business should have. Just to give you a little background, when I first started my calligraphy business in 2018, I was thinking about, how can I make a little bit of money? Like I want to start a side hustle. And so my thinking was like, what can I do to make money? And at that time, what I felt was most realistic for me was, because at the time I was kind of getting into calligraphy. I was already learning it. And then I thought, well, I think what might be easy is to just sell greeting cards for like $5. It seems pretty simple, right? Like I design something, I have a product, and like I'll just use my social media and sell like a $5 product for now. When I started the business, the point was to just start something. That was the goal. Yeah, sure, I could make a little bit of money, but what I really wanted to do was to find something realistic, because I think at that time I did actually really want to become a content creator / a blogger. Like I've always wanted to be a blogger since I was like a teenager, I think. It just seemed so daunting. The whole thing seemed daunting, and that's why I didn't do it. So this first dimension that I'm talking about is this money making part. It's the practical side. It's like the part where what can I do to make money right now? And for me, I was thinking about, okay, what skills do I have, or what could I possibly learn? And then how could I turn that into a business? Let me just tell you what the second dimension is, and then it'll make a lot more sense. The second one is finding alignment, and really, it's like more towards your calling. It reflects your values and your passions, and it's something you really see yourself doing in the long term. It's about alignment. And when I talk about this like dimension of alignment, it doesn't mean like if you just try to make money, it doesn't mean that like my calligraphy business wasn't aligned. It's not that it wasn't aligned with me. It's just, I always knew at the very beginning in 2018 when I started this calligraphy business that it wasn't gonna be my long-term thing. It was just a stepping stone so I could learn how to promote myself. Okay, I wanna build more confidence. Okay, I wanna get rid of this imposter syndrome. It was a stepping stone for me to then work on this, get into like this second dimension of like what I really, really want to do. It's like your calling. Yeah, just something where you feel like you're meant to do, like you're called to do it. And I knew that calligraphy wasn't my calling, but it was like a business idea that I had that it felt realistic to me. I felt like it was doable for me. I did enjoy it. So in a sense, I was aligned with it. Like it wasn't something that I hated doing, right? I could see myself doing it and enjoying doing it. I can be creative, but I knew it wasn't the thing that I was meant to do. And now I feel like it has taken like 6 years for me to finally like understand what I actually really want to do, which is creating and writing and sharing. And so this YouTube channel, and then also I just like 2 months ago, I started blogging and also like sharing things through my email list. I think this is what I meant to do. Like I've always loved creating and writing and sharing. For me, that's like this second dimension. This is what I really, really want to do. like 6 years ago, I just did not have the guts to do it, and I had no idea how. I was just too scared. So that's why I first started this calligraphy business, so I could work up to doing the thing that I actually wanted to do. So I think this is helpful for you to think about, because sometimes, like, so many people say, follow your passions, do what is your calling. And I do agree that, yeah, like ideally in the long term, yeah, you should be doing that and working towards that. But also, like, maybe at the beginning, you're too scared. It's like too much of a hurdle that you're just not going to start. That's why you can think about, like, okay, like realistically, what can I make money doing right now that feels, like enjoyable for me? Maybe it's not what I want to do in the very, very long term, but what's something I can start right now? And I think that's the first dimension. Of course, we should work towards the second dimension, but I think it's totally fine to just start off with doing something that you can make money. Like, maybe you have the skills or the knowledge already and you can make money. Then you can build towards this second dimension of doing what's more aligned for you. Because for me, I think I'm like a lot of you. Like, I'm really scared to do something new. And if it's like this big thing, and I know I really want to do it, but it just seems too much for now, and I just can't do it. So I started off here. And what I'm not saying is that, like, I call it the first dimension and the second dimension, but I don't think I should say the first and the second. It should just be these different dimensions of having a business. So I'm not saying you should focus on the money first and then do what's more aligned. I'm not saying that. That's how I did it. But you could also do it the other way, where you already know what you want to do. You already know what you're meant to do and what you want to do long term. So you start doing that. And maybe right now, like, you don't really see how you can make money doing it, but you do it anyways. Like, you're doing the aligned thing, but then later on you can figure out how to make money. So I truly believe you can make money doing anything. Sometimes you just got to be a little creative. And whether you start here or you start here, it doesn't really matter. But I think sometimes we get so stuck in the, oh my God, I need to do something that is like so me, and I'm gonna do it for the next 10 years, and it's gonna be my calling. Sometimes we don't know what that calling is. Sometimes we know what it is, but we're just too scared. So then we just never start anything. And I think a lot of you might be in this place where maybe you have an idea of what you want to do, but it just seems so unattainable. And so I think if you're in that like mindset, it's totally understandable. Like, I was totally there before. You can totally start off with something easier, okay? And like, you can pivot, you can build up to it. That's how I did it. So yeah, just wanted to share that. Okay, let's say you don't really know what that is. Like, you don't know what feels aligned. You don't know what you're meant to be doing. And I guess some people can argue that there isn't a thing that we're meant to do or we're called to do, but we create it. But anyways, like, I don't want to argue about that. If you are feeling stuck with what you want to do long-term in your business, I have some suggestions of what you can do to try to figure it out. And for me, I think it really took me at least 5 years after starting my business to really be more confident in this thing. Because I think, okay, so here's the thing. I have blogged basically my whole life. I've been writing and sharing and creating my whole life. When it feels so natural to you, and when you've been doing it your whole life without making money, it's really hard to get into the mindset of the thing you've been doing your whole life for free. Now you can make money off of it, because it just feels like, well, you've been doing it your whole life. Who's gonna pay for it? You've been doing it for free. It's so natural. So the way I was educated was like, oh, you have to learn this new skill. You gotta learn this thing and be educated. And because of your education, because of the skills and the knowledge that you have, then you can make money because you learned this thing, the skill or the knowledge. But the thing that came super duper naturally to me, and the thing I really enjoyed doing, which was writing and creating and sharing on my blog, it was so natural to me that I kind of just disregarded it and thought, that's not the thing that can make money, because I've just been doing it my whole life. Like, oh, I need a skill, I need new knowledge, and then I can monetize that. Like, think about what you've been doing all along, just naturally, like what you've enjoyed doing your entire life, something that you just, even if you weren't making money, like, you would still be doing it. For me, that's just creating things, sharing things. Like I would do that anyways without making money. Like what is that thing for you? And then I also did a ton of journaling, meditating, really thinking about it. One question that really helped me was, so if I were already making like all the money in the world that I wanted to make, what would I be doing every day? If I didn't have to worry about money, what would I be doing? And I thought for me it was honestly the same thing. It was like, I would just create and write things. Yeah, make some videos, write on my blog, share with my email list about what I'm learning. And yeah, maybe do some calligraphy, give it away. And that's what I would be doing every single day. And then there are some other things. So I always mention this book. It's called P.S. You're a Genius by Kelly Track. This book really like solidified the thing that I want to do, which is like creating content and sharing and just like being creative and also writing. Highly recommend that book. Another thing is the Ikigai method, which I don't know if you know, but it's this Japanese concept that means your reason for being. You basically want to find the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. Something else that I found recently that actually one of my clients shared with me is this 16 questions exercise by Eva Alordia. So I did it, and it really confirmed that I just want to create and share things. Another thing is when you think about the people you really, really admire, the people you love watching on YouTube, or the people you just think are, wow, like they're so cool. Yeah, if you think about like the people you really, really admire in your life, maybe it's a YouTuber, maybe it's some author, or maybe it's, I don't know. The people you admire could be an athlete. Usually like what we really like appreciate and admire in other people, that says something about what we want to do or what we feel called to do. And for me, it was like I loved watching YouTube and I loved reading other people's blogs since I was a teenager and in university, especially with YouTube. Like I honestly thought I would never be a YouTuber because I think I was just really self-conscious. But now that I look back, like I actually loved watching YouTube videos. It really, really makes sense that the people I really thought were so cool, that said something about what I want to do. I want to create and share. Basically, that's the YouTubers that I follow. It's the bloggers that I followed for so long. Like I really wanted that. And sometimes it can be such a scary thing and a daunting thing that we're just so resistant to it. Like I wasn't even open to the idea of YouTube until basically when I started my channel. Like a mentor told me, hey, maybe you should make some YouTube videos. It'll help you in your calligraphy and your coaching business. And I was like, It wasn't until like 1 year after I started my YouTube channel that I was actually like, wait, maybe I want to become like a bigger YouTube creator. I think that's what I want to do. It was so inaccessible for me in my mindset for so long. Starting a business requires some soul searching because I truly believe the business that you start, it is a reflection of you. And so if you don't know yourself, it's really hard to start a business that you feel very connected to. Also, I want to remind you that if you have not downloaded my free business starter pack, which has a whole bunch of things like a business plan template, a guide on how to start Etsy, a guide on how to start a YouTube channel, a guide on how to start doing UGC. If you're looking for different business ideas, I have these resources for you. They are all for free. I really want to make business education accessible and help people start businesses so that they can be happier in their lives and like create more freedom and flexibility, because that's what I wanted. So if you haven't had a chance to look at these resources yet, you can go to the link below and get these resources for free.